Hi there, Taurus. I'm EllaAradia, and welcome to your December 2025 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Taurus Earth signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading. It's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. What I do find, though, is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Taurus signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoyed this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Taurus, let's jump in. I always like to just tune into the energies a little bit first, Taurus, before I start pulling cards. Just like to see what comes through. I'm being shown your energy field, and when I look at it, it looks as though there are what we call energy cords, which are keeping you anchored in the past. They're connecting into the past, and it feels like, it's something on an emotional level. Because I'm also seeing some kind of, really big fresh start for you. And it almost feels a little bit like a divine intervention at the moment, which is when, the universe comes in sometimes and shifts people, places, situations, and things can happen that sometimes set you on a different path. And there's so much in this new energy for you, this fresh start for you. But there are these cords of attachment that are just keeping you a little bit anchored in the past. For some of you, this might be a heartbreak that you're still getting over. Maybe somebody left your life, or maybe you moved on, something, that might have been quite challenging for you. And with your overall energies, we have Judgment, a moment of a life review. And it kind of feels to me that that's a little bit where you're at right now, because Judgment is all about learning from the past and taking accountability, responsibility for our past choices, learning the lessons, and really looking at what is it time to let go of, and what do you take with you moving forwards. But it's also about, of course, taking the wisdom, that you have learned from the past moving forward, so that you don't kind of go back down the same roads again, which may have been unfulfilling or unhealthy in some way for you. So it's a moment to just take a pause to, reset, reevaluate. And what lies in your recent past is the Six of Swords. That's a card of transition. Your current energies, the Ten of Pentacles. Your feelings towards your situation, the Seven of Cups. I feel like some of you have perhaps found yourselves recently single, because to me it feels like this card is saying you have options, and some kind of transition and moving away from a difficult chapter of your life. Something that was, maybe challenging in some way. And, this is all about moving away from that to calmer shores, to something better. And with the Ten of Pentacles, this is about seeing the long term and really looking at, what do you want for the future? What's important to you? What kind of connections do you really want to have here? Particularly in terms of, a partner, relationships. I feel like you may have been dealing with somebody that, may have been a little bit back and forth. It almost feels like they weren't quite ready to really kind of meet you at this Ten of Pentacles, that long-term committed connection. And I do feel like this is something that's maybe gone on for a while, like somebody just kind of being a little bit back and forth, a little bit hot and cold. Somebody who I feel has feelings for you, but they were just not quite ready to really embrace them. And that's a tough one sometimes, especially when you see the potential of a connection. You see what it could be. But somehow, none of it has really manifested, which is also what this Seven of Cups can mean. Seeing the potential, seeing what things could be. But of course, unless anything really manifests, they do remain just potentials and just dreams. And it may have got to the point where I feel like something's occurred that has caused, this transition energy of the Six of Swords. It may be that the person you're dealing with has chosen another connection. That's not going to resonate for all of you, but that is something I'm seeing here. They've gone perhaps where it's emotionally safer, where they're not challenged to open up and grow, which has almost, forced you to have to start moving on. And that's the other feeling that I get for some of you around the Seven of Cups. You have options, possibility. Because the thing is, it's important to remember that, because when someone's not able to, really embrace the connection in the way that you need, or give you, what you really want, if they're not able to show up in those ways, you don't really have them anyway. And at least if, being on your own, you do have possibility. There are possibilities, there are potentials. What lies in your challenge? The Five of Wands. This is what I'm feeling, this energy of competition, feeling like you have perhaps been competing with somebody else. And it may be that this is this kind of third-party energy that I'm feeling around your person. And your hidden influence is the Seven of Pentacles. So there's a big calling here from the universe, especially with this Judgment card, to just take a pause, take a moment, take a step back from your situation, really look at what you have and reevaluate it, take stock, and really have a good look at who or what you're putting your energies into moving forwards here. Sometimes that's about, pouring that energy back into yourself, especially those of you that have had, some kind of recent breakup here. This can also relate to career as well. Like I said at the beginning, the theme's always the same, but it can show up in different areas of your life. There may have been a job opportunity that fell through, or a promotion or something like that. and you know what you were currently doing was not really fulfilling for you, and you know this invitation, let's say, to kind of go further afield has come up for some of you. And that's also this energy of potential here with the Seven of Cups. And it may well be, you know, you had been competing, you know, with other people in the workplace for that. But everything happens for a reason, is what I just keep hearing. And the most important thing in all of this is to really kind of trust what's unfolding. Because like I said at the beginning, I feel like this is some kind of divine intervention by the universe to perhaps actually set you on a different path, because it is going to be a better one for you. For some of you, that will lead into, you know, connecting more with your life purpose, particularly with career, you know, building something for the long term that ultimately is going to bring you, you know, what you really want. And with your advice from the universe, the Seven of Wands, sometimes this is a guarded energy, but the other meaning of this card is also about standing in your truth. Regardless of, you know, what is going on around you. So standing in your truth, perhaps for some of you in the energy of adversity. And I feel, you know, in terms of love, that's about you staying true to what you really want here and not being afraid to lose love, not being afraid to let go, because, you know, this is all about staying true to your values and what you really want here, Taurus. Not settling for less, and just trusting that, you know, when you do that for yourself, the you know, the universe will kind of mirror that back to you and bring in, you know, people, opportunities that actually match that in frequency. And so with your outcome, we have the Ten of Cups. And, you know, this is all about emotional contentment, fulfillment, you know, happily ever after, your wishes granted, your dreams come true, what you really want. And it may just require a little bit of a leap of faith here around you just holding true to you. And, you know, anything that really isn't working, isn't fulfilling in some way, not being afraid perhaps to make, you know, a major change in your life. Because when I look at this energy in front of you that's opening up, there's so much in it for you. There's so much in it for you, but it may just be that, you know, there is a little bit of letting go of the past, disentangling a little bit from the past so that you can fully kind of move forwards and embrace this new start here, Taurus. So I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, Taurus, and I wish you a great month ahead.